video before he had daddy duty. So
Oh, we're live, dude. Let me see if, cause I wanna send this shit to some people. So, right here, here we go.
before he had daddy duty. So
Yeah. Okay. I don't know if you want to go to the YouTube and like send it to anybody. That's what I'm doing, kind of.
fucking dogs,
Crazy dog, bro.
always going bananas.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna tweet this shit out. All right. The dog's always barking. Oh
Well,
shit.
so I came back and there was a couple people that were over for the game. So they're probably just going. They're all outside in the garage right now, so they're all going crazy. So
Before we get started here, yeah, I wanted to. Obviously, we're experimenting with this live shit, which is a little different, you know, real time.
yep.
Um, I'm just gonna retweet this shit. Everything's in caps. Did you watch? Dude, that first game.
Oh,
Um,
today?
yeah, dude. Like, I didn't think it was gonna be. I don't know. I didn't think it was gonna be like that. What, dude? And we'll get into it for sure before we get into like some Browns pregame.
So I
Um,
left at halftime.
okay.
So I didn't get to watch the whole thing, but I listened to it the entire way. Is back to Ohio. So
Yeah. Um, all right. So click here. Wait, what is it? Getting used to this Ecamm live. On my end, it's a little different. Haven't used it before. And before we start, like I said, I'm just sending out this link. I'm gonna try and get some fucking buddies on here. So I don't know if you want to do the same.
I can send it out here.
Um, there it is. Okay. Buddies on here.
Oh,
Can you hear that?
yeah.
Where's the fucking share button on this bitch? The fuck? Ah, there we go. Bitch, I ain't coming out. People trying to get me to go out and shit. They don't understand the Browns are about to fucking shock the world, dude. Shit.
Look what I tweeted out with it. With that
Uh,
GIF. The GIF
oh, I got
usage.
it. Hang on, let me see.
You remember that dude? I forget who it is.
Did you? Is it my personal?
I retweeted the Average Joe's tweet that you threw up.
Is that what you were talking about? Oh, I thought you said.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing it. Um, well, 1 second here. Couple more. And where the fuck's he at? Fucking Roger. You know Roger, right? You know fucking Roger.
Yeah, I know Roger.
He sent me a video he
Damn
made.
you, Roger.
Fucking Roger. All right, dude. First live show. Uh, normally, like, well, we wanted to do this yesterday, right? First of all, welcome to the Average Joe's X and O's podcast to the two people that are watching. That could be me because I think I have it up, one of them. But anywho, uh,
There you go.
yeah, yesterday we tried to do this and do Power Hour previewing that Bills game, but we had technical difficulties because I had to wait 24 hours to get verified on YouTube. And yeah, dude, I don't know about you, but I think I finished what? We only did like 47 minutes because we started late, and I was pretty
Dude. Yep.
fucking a little tipsy.
So yeah, after I switched up from the IPAs to Genesee, it was pretty much game over for me at that point in time.
Wait, you
When
switched
I
up
went
from?
to
What'd
go
you
to
say
the
it again?
bathroom,
You switched what?
I switched up from those. I switched up from IPAs to Genesee Ice. which is not much not much lower in potency than the IPAs I was drinking,
Hmm.
but the change in taste that was game over because that was like water and things went down pretty smooth after that. So needless to say, things got out of hand pretty quick after the power hour happened. So, but I needed it to calm my nerves for that game, bro, for real.
Yeah. Um, I think it's funny. I just switched the. Let me know if your shit freezes. Um,
Now it's good now.
okay, I'm just seeing what it looks like on the YouTube. If it because eventually it's gonna go. I don't think it was going back and forth because I think it was just showing me the whole time. So we'll see what this does. So just want to make sure everything's good to
Bro, the
roll.
Bears are trash.
What happened now? Let's see. I have it on here. Well, so here's the thing.
The Saints are rolling right now. Well, they're moving the ball pretty well,
Did
but
you watch the first half of this game at all?
the Saints
I
game.
fig I figured we because we have it on right now. I feel we could commentate on this and then also do everything we need to because we got time. We're kind of dicking around at the same time. But dude, the Bears
Right.
dropped. It should be up 10-7 right now because they dropped this beautiful touchdown pass. This motherfucker. Fuck you, Isaac. This dude always talking shit. Fucking Steelers, my ass. I don't need none of that negativity right now. But no, the Bears dropped this easy touchdown. Dude hit dude right in the hands. Kind of looked like Braylon Edwards
Okay.
type of shit. You know what I mean? But I didn't think Chicago would be in this game at all. Actually, I'm kind of surprised right now.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised too, to be honest with you. I didn't really get to check out too much of the game because I was driving back, but
It was they always
this is
talk
kind of the
about
first I've seen it.
this Saints defense, but like you're telling me you can't fucking stop Trubisky right now? Kidding me? Shit.
Hey, man, Money Mitch has been on fire lately.
I
Although I
guess.
didn't think he looked, I don't think he looked that great against Green Bay in the season finale. But hey, I think they're more dangerous with him at quarterback than they were with Nick Foles at quarterback.
Here
So
here's a question I was gonna bring up. Okay, and not even just Baker, but like other quarterbacks. So, despite the Ravens winning, uh, Lamar Jackson had no touchdown passes. Now, let's say the Browns won today without throwing touchdown passes. How much hate do you think Baker would get for that?
you mean with the same stat line rushing though too?
I mean that does switch it up a little bit, but I mean
How
I
many
don't know.
total yards does they have? He had just over. Well, he had 140 on the ground, I think, right?
It was something like that because the one run was like 47 yards for a touchdown.
And two rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, I'm not sure. He had at least one. I think one because Dobbins had a touchdown. He had a touchdown, and I think there was two field goals. Yeah,
So
I don't know how many passing yards he had though. I know
not a
Derrick
lot.
Henry
Also, it was one touchdown. Okay.
I only had like what was his rushing yards? I gotta look it up. I thought they said 40, but I could be wrong on that. He didn't do too much. But I didn't think
Yeah, I
I don't
mean,
know. I don't know. It's weird.
I didn't get a chance to really watch. I watched the first half, and it looked like Tennessee had a pretty good game plan in place for him. That one run he had though, but that's we talk about it pretty extensively with Lamar. That that one run that he had is what he brings to the table. You know what I mean? Like that's why he's so
Right.
hard to game plan for is because as much as they had that covered, they were just like slightly too aggressive and missed the tackle, and he can just house it from and he has like he's definitely a 4-4 guy. Like he just has burners. So, but yeah, I mean, stats don't tell the whole story in that game. I feel like again, I didn't get to watch the second half. I was listening to it in the car on the way back. But
I missed a lot of the
um,
second half though, actually.
it sounded like the Titans squandered a bunch of opportunities, and it really sounds like uh, you know Baltimore came out was able to capitalize early out of the second half, and then played just stellar defense the rest of the way.
I mean, they
That's what
had
happens when you.
well, there was a moment
Oh,
there
go ahead.
where the Titans probably should have went for it towards the end of the game there on fourth down. They didn't. I thought Vrabel would have been a little bit more aggressive. But I mean, even just looking at the score and like, I mean, as bad as the Titans defense get the rap that they get, I think. I mean, they did it. They did what they could. I mean, they only let them score 20 points. So I don't know.
I was about to say. I mean, I was fairly impressed that it was only 20 to 13.
Yeah.
Considering, like you said, the Titans defense isn't very notorious for being the strong suit, especially their third down defense. Like historically, their third down defense. I heard this on the broadcast. Is like one of the worst in the NFL, if not the worst in the NFL this year, as far as percentages converted on third down. So,
Damn.
to hold them to 20 points, especially with the way the Ravens were rolling into this game, definitely, you know, definitely impressive from that standpoint. But you got to rely on Ryan Tannehill to pick up the slack, especially when Derrick Henry only gets like what 50 yards rushing in this game or 47 or something like that. So,
Yeah.
you got to kind of rely on that, and that's where those corners come in for the Ravens, man. I mean, definitely no slouch for on the defensive side for them. With the zero pressure and the way they play press coverage, like Marlon Humphreys was a monster today.
Yeah.
Marcus Peters was a monster today. So,
And I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to think going because next week they potentially could play. I mean, I heard a couple different scenarios. Like if the Browns ended up winning, they'd have to play the Chiefs, right? Who would the Ravens play? Do you
so
know?
if the Browns win, the Bills play the Ravens, and then the Chiefs play the Browns because the Chiefs play the lowest seed remaining. If
Okay.
Pittsburgh wins, the Bills play Pittsburgh, and then
The Chiefs play.
Kansas City gets the Ravens.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha. Uh, fuck. I don't know.
I don't.
I have
For
a
me, it
little.
doesn't. For me, it doesn't matter either
I have a
way.
little bit more hope in this game just because of watching like Washington play a tough game last night. Well, I say I didn't really get to watch the game because of our little power hour session, I fucking fell asleep for basically both those games.
Par for the course.
I mean, it sounded good at the time to do that, by the way, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe it was entertaining, but by the way, the one comment on the TikTok, the dude was like, he's like, these dudes were tripping. I was like, yeah, we were pretty buzzed by this point, by the way. So,
Yeah, we were.
we were a little.
We were. We were definitely a little messed up there, but so next time we do that, if we ever do that again, I'm definitely drinking Coors Lights. I'm just throwing it out there.
I mean,
I feel like
dude,
I'd be better suited for that.
I figured that was gonna happen. You're doing it like playing Power Hour with craft beer. That's each one's 8% or whatever the fuck it is. It was pretty rough.
Yeah, lesson learned there.
I'm really hoping the Bears fucking lose this game because
It looks like they're about to.
um,
Honestly, Trubisky hasn't been able to do anything in this
I
game.
mean,
So
so we got a group text, Isaac, that I don't know if you can see it. He's been commenting on this shit. We got a group text going on because we all work together. One of the guys is a Bears fan, and I mean, technically the Bears should be up right now, but it's just fun to talk shit. So, the Saints look like they're gonna score here. So,
holy shit,
wait,
that was some
wait,
wizardry right there.
hold on. What's the time on your game you got on?
They just scored.
Well, I
The
figured.
Saints did.
I know for a fact my stream's behind yours. Mine's at 4:40.
Okay.
In time in the third quarter. You're probably like a
Oh
minute
yeah.
ahead.
Well, just watch the wizardry that Drew Brees pulled off here. some real Houdini type
Yep,
shit.
it's probably gonna happen right now. But I'm 30 seconds to a minute slower for sure because I'm streaming this game. Probably shouldn't have. Supposedly they're putting an end to that shit, but we'll see. Oh yeah, hang on. I see what you mean. Okay. I see it. Just scored. Who was that?
Yeah, it was pretty. Latavius Murray.
Do you know what's funny? So this end zone cam that everybody's talking about, have you noticed it in the last few weeks? So like
I
right
think I
now,
know what you're talking about, yeah.
so like when they score a touchdown, there's a camera angle that they're showing, right? And it looks different than all the other angles,
Okay.
right? And it's like a nice close up. And it's funny because people are like, oh, this is 8K, and it's not. It's literally nobody broadcasts even in 4K. It's 1080p. It's just not all 1080p's built the same way, and it's being shot on a rig because they just did an article about it. So it's shot on this what
Okay.
they call it a cheap rig. I mean, it would for all the equipment that they use, it would cost about 10 grand, but in terms of like production for a NFL game, that is pretty cheap actually. But the camera is just a newer model of what I have, right, that I just upgraded to, and that's it. It's a mirrorless camera. It's a small little camera that they have streaming to the production truck, and it's
Okay.
just kind of cool because people think it's fucking 8K and it's not, and it looks clean. It just gives it a cinematic look. Sometimes it kind of looks like a video game, looks like Madden.
Yeah.
But next time there's
Actually, I know what you're talking about now.
yeah,
Yeah.
next time there's a touchdown, they'll show it for sure, and you'll see it kind of like auto focusing on like other players. So it's like kind of, but dude, it's just where tech's going right now. Like you don't need those fucking $20,000 cameras and shit to have some good content. So I figured I just had to, that's the video side of me talking right now because it just popped up, and I just kind
There
of
you go.
I just think it's funny when people say, "Oh, it's 8K." It's like, dude, they don't even not like fucking. There's news stations that still stream in 720. You know what I mean? So it's gay, but there was something I think on Thursday's episode. I didn't remember. I said I wanted to share some stats. We didn't really do stats for bruisers, but there was something that I wanted to bring up.
I don't remember
Let's
what it
see
was. I
here.
do remember you saying that though.
Here's one. This is one on Baker Mayfield. It said Baker Mayfield, so 2018 and 2020, joined Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck as the only players in NFL history to record at least 3,500 passing yards with at least 20 touchdown passes in each of their first 3 seasons. It's
That's what's up.
pretty impressive. And then
I
the other
mean, that's a
one,
good group of names to be in.
right. And then the other one was Justin Jefferson, because we did talk about the trade for Diggs to Buffalo and how Minnesota hit on Jefferson. He had 1,400 receiving yards, broke Anquan
Okay.
Bolden's record for most reception yards by a rookie in the Super Bowl era. He had 1,377 yards. That was in 2003. And yeah, it's pretty impressive. And then he broke I think Randy Moss's as well. So I mean, good pickup for them. Obviously, Diggs has been a fucking monster for Buffalo. But yeah, I wanted to get those.
It's the
get
one
those
rare
stats
opportunity
out.
you could say that it was a win-win on that
Oh,
side. Really.
and I got more. This one's cool. Najee Harris, right, running back from Bama. Let's see, he's got more rushing touchdowns this season than all these running backs had in their Heisman winning season. So he has 24. I'm going to go through this list of
Okay.
these big running backs that had less, right, in their Heisman year. O.J. Simpson had 23. Marcus Allen, 22. Herschel Walker, 16. Ron Dane, 20. Eric Crouch, 18. Reggie Bush, 16, which is kind of crazy. I feel like he would have had more. But Tim Tebow had 23. Mark Ingram had 17, and Cam Newton had 20. It's pretty wild.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
What's even more impressive is that Eric Crouch is up there as far as rushing touchdowns go.
Right? It's fucking crazy. But yeah, I wanted to rip that off because I thought some of that shit was pretty interesting.
He's had a good career at Bama.
I mean, dude, he's like I don't want to say miniature Derrick Henry, but they look very similar in build. I don't know where Bama finds these dudes at. Another thing I wanted to bring up, actually, that I think we briefly talked about. But this is I took a screenshot. I don't know if I can kind of continue. See that? Talking about
yes, I see it, but I can't really read
Oh, well.
what it says though. I saw it was like CFP rules, but then I couldn't
Yeah,
read what was
Klatt's kind of changed his stance on the college football playoff. And these are like some of the rule changes that he thinks would be ideal. So he says
Okay.
remove conference divisions. 2, minimum 9 conference games, 1 Power 5 non-conference game. 3, automatic bids to Power 5 champs and best, it says G5 champion. I don't know. Maximum 2 losses for independents. Remove current committee structure. So, but he went on and like broke down. I thought I had a screenshot of it. I don't think I do. What a 16-team playoff would look like. So that'd be 8 games.
Okay.
And I really fucking thought I'm gonna look him up on Twitter. You might have the screenshot there. But he kind of broke it down like what it would have looked like this year had they have and had this system, and I thought it was pretty interesting. Okay, let's see if I can find it on here and pause it. This is where I. He also broke down like. So he did a 16, he did a 10, and so okay. So for the 16 team playoff, he had so it'd be 1 versus 16. So Alabama versus Northwestern. Clemson would have played the Raging Cajuns because since they were the 15th ranked team in the country. Then you would have had Texas A&M versus Indiana, 8-9. Notre Dame versus Georgia at 7-10. Or wait, I don't know who that is. Coastal Carolina would have been in there. I don't know who number 5. Maybe I mixed up 9 and 5 because he had. It looks Indiana and like this other symbol looks the same, so I don't know who the fuck it is. Then you would have had the Gators and Oregon plans, number 6 and 11, Cincinnati and Iowa State, and then Ohio State and North Carolina, 3 and 14. And then like there's another, winner that would so there'd be 1, 2, 3, 4. So that would be 4 weeks of play to determine who would be in the championship.
Okay.
I don't know. I
would all be bowl games at that point.
I'm assuming that they would be, and I kind of like it. What do you think about that?
Well, it's a lot of teams.
It is.
I'd be curious to see how the revenue side of it would shake out for college football specifically.
He's good at that shit.
Which
though.
would be the big driver for it.
Well, he does break all that down, as well. The 14-team one is interesting. So like, Bama and Clemson would have got a bye, and then everything else would have basically stayed the same on the lower end.
Gotcha.
But yeah,
Apologize for the damn dogs barking.
all good. So I don't know. It was just something I wanted to bring up. I thought it was interesting. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't mind. I don't mind having more teams in because I think it brings out more of a chance to really see some good competition and really kind of sorting out the better teams. This year would have been a weird year to do it, obviously, for competitive reasons with certain teams not playing as many games. We saw Ohio State play 6 before they got in the playoffs versus, the SEC got through a full 13-game schedule.
Yeah.
So, I think from a competitive standpoint and, competitive advantage standpoint, I don't think this year would have been a good year for it. But
I mean, this year was a shit show.
To see it go forward, to see it going forward, it's definitely an intriguing option. From a viewership standpoint, I don't think it's going to hurt viewership or anything. I'd be more curious to see how football programs would take that kind of schedule and what kind of how they're used to doing things. But that those are going to be the bigger voices, in the room. But as far as if college football in general and the NCAA in general thinks they can generate more revenue off of it, then they're going to do it. And that's all there really is to it. Like it doesn't matter what the, the football programs say or what what the public says. It's going to be, hey, can we get more ratings out of it? So
yeah,
I don't mind it.
I mean, no, I think it would be cool. I mean, obviously you'd have to figure it out, but I think at that point with that many teams, since like you got the 15th and 16th ranked teams in there, that all these people that were complaining like Oklahoma and shit, you get to settle it up in that tournament. And kind of there's no, because usually like I feel like there would be no argument because your teams like Coastal Carolina and Cincinnati would get a shot. You know what I mean? So
did they say that they were going to shorten like the regular season then of games?
It kind of seemed like that to an extent, but I don't know. I feel like that'd be a lot of money they'd lose out on. For sure. So I don't know if I feel like no way they go under 10 games. I think 10 games is going to be a staple for just a season, I mean, we're talking like, and they're never going to not have like a little school play, not play Power Five team because bare minimum those little schools get like I think a minimum it's like 1.5 mil or something like that just for playing one of those games that they know they're probably going to lose. Um, so yeah, but we'll see what happens. I mean, we're kind of seeing the effects of not only recruiting, because Bama, Ohio State, Clemson, like they're usually getting like most of the recruits, and it's like right now it doesn't even really matter because the playoffs have been the same teams over the course of the last since it started in 2014. So they're gonna have to do because it's almost like a guarantee. You can be like, hey, we're in the playoffs every year. Like you're gonna get seen nationally. We send this many people
Right.
to the NFL. So you got to do something to kind of like stop that a little bit. And I think a tournament, because like even if you make it into a bigger playoff and you win those bowl games, then everything becomes important. Even if you don't make it to the national championship, and you win a few games in the playoffs, you can use it in your recruiting. But yeah, man, it's just different. It's different now.
I'm curious. I'm curious as from a standpoint of like war of attrition, right? I mean, you're ultimately as a football program going to have more games than you normally would in a season. At that point,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm curious to see how how college teams would actually take that as far as that goes. Like would they be for all right? Hey, we're going to extend the college football season technically by 3 additional games than what we would normally do it. Um, does that add any sort of fairness to it? And it's not like it would be interesting to see like in the NFL because roster sizes are fairly limited. But if there is a program or I should say a sport that could get away with it, college football would be it because they're allowed to have so many more players on their rosters. You know what I mean?
Right, right, right.
So, um, so that necessarily wouldn't be an issue. I'm just trying to work through like, what could be a potential downfall of it, but um,
It would just be
it
longer,
definitely
because like the big thing before was the fact that like finals and all that bullshit. But this year kind of proved that like it didn't
right,
matter. They worked around it. You know what I mean? It's not like most of these fucking athletes are taking general studies anyway. Like, you know what I mean?
right.
Like, I mean, what do you like? They can't even do all the majors that someone would want to do. You know what I mean? Just because football interferes with a lot of the classes. So it's like people were trying to go to the
Yeah,
fucking
with
NFL and shit.
with remote learning and stuff. I think
I
this
mean,
year's proven with anything the
remember when?
flexibility of everything.
Hold
So
on. Remember when fuck. Who was it? Ohio State quarterback. Like, why am I drawing a blank? With the big arm. Talked shit to Saban's daughter
Cardell,
recently. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like his from when he was a freshman, he had that tweet that was like, "We don't go to."
I
It's,
came here to
it's
play
like,
football now. Yeah, right.
yeah, yeah. He's like, "We
Yep,
don't." It's like, "Oh, we go to class anyway." I just thought it was kind of
right.
funny, but yeah,
It's
I
pretty
mean, I'm
accurate.
interested to see what they do over the next couple of years with the playoff and kind of watch it evolve a little bit. But so before we get into some Browns stuff here, Browns Steelers, how'd you feel after that Bills win yesterday? You had to feel good. I know some other Bills
Relieved.
fans were feeling great. I saw the dude I shared with you from Barstool, the dude that fucking jumped off the van and for whatever reason, legs down instead of just putting his
Like,
body
why
through the
would you go
table.
leg first, bro?
I don't know.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense. He's he snapped his
His
leg in
leg
half.
snapped in half. Oh my god, dude.
I
Like,
saw
come on.
I saw the one the dude caught on fire because they lit the table on fire and when he went through it he caught on
That's
fire.
normal.
Oh, okay.
Like that's a normal behavior. Like,
That's normal Bills
and you
Mafia
have
right there.
snow on the ground, just
Just
roll
roll
on the
around, stop,
ground, tug
drop,
it
roll in
out,
that bitch.
Right. I mean, when you're drunk, you forget simple things anyway, like stop, drop, and roll. So like it's
That's true.
understandable why it took him a second to do that. But yeah, man, I was relieved. Especially after the debacle at the end of the game when it should have ended the game to begin with the fumble non-fumble call. Um, the defense,
Oh, I'm trying to think.
I felt like
The fumble, not fumble.
like as the game, the one at the very end where Pittman got up and then they raked the ball out, but they said it was
Oh
inconclusive evidence, so
yeah.
he was still ruled down. Like I was scrolling through Twitter at that point in time, and everyone was like, "All right, so this game's over because that's a fumble." And everybody and their mother, Colts fans, are like, "I can't believe we fumbled that football." Like even though they ruled it not a fumble, like they're all 99% of the world's like, "Yeah, that was a fumble." And then here comes the NFL, and they're fucking just being cockbags, being like, yeah, no, we're gonna give the Colts another chance. Philip Rivers deserves it.
Yeah.
But I was relieved because the Bills put themselves in a good position going up 24-10. Like the defense had only allowed 10 points up through the fourth quarter. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And if they could have at least made the Colts drive the ball down like 6-7 minutes, they weren't going to get three possessions out of it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So the fact that they were able to score so quick really made me nervous, especially after going up 24-10. Like the Colts came right down and scored in 3 minutes,
Hey, and
and that's just unacceptable, bro.
Rivers did throw that pick. That was kind of crucial, didn't he? Because as soon as he did throw a pick, right? Because I think I remember watching. I was like, wait a minute, there it was.
No, he didn't throw any interceptions.
I thought he did. I don't know. I was.
They had no turnovers.
I mean, I was kind of drunk, so maybe I just imagined it.
Well, they had a couple. They had a fourth down stop that happened. That was right before halftime. The Bills stopped them on fourth down, and then they took the ball 96 yards and scored a touchdown on the ensuing drive.
Hmm.
They had a 2 point conversion they missed, and Philip just like in an effort to tie the game, I believe, or take the lead. I can't remember, but it was a missed throw to Pittman in the back of the end zone that he should have had. That ended up not, it ended up costing him points there, but. Um, Missed field goals. I mean, there's plenty of opportunities for the Colts. Let's not
Oh yeah.
get ahead of ourselves here. But going up 24-10, you feel pretty good, especially going in the fourth quarter. 2 touchdown lead. I mean, you want to try to make it so that way they only get two possessions in that situation if you can. I mean, if you trade possessions and you as the offense can go down and drive 5 minutes, and take some time off the clock, that's only going to give Indy a couple possessions, and if you score on one of them, then there you go. That's all you need. But it's not the case, and then it came down to a Hail Mary, and we all know how I feel about Hail Marys, and the Bills have had a history of it this year, But
Yeah, even I was nervous for that one.
all good.
I was like,
Yeah,
oh
man, it
shit, here
was.
we go.
Well, I was pretty impressed with how Allen played too. Like Allen had a pretty decent day. 75% completion percentage, accounted for 360 total yards and 3 touchdowns. Like you can't really ask much more out of it. I was a little concerned. The Bills haven't been a good running team all year, and that just reared its ugly head today. But or yesterday, I mean. But the Colts have a really good. I think they're a top 3 run defense and a top 8 pass defense. So, I think they were ranked 8. Like in total defense, they were 7th, I think. So it was a really good defense that they were playing, and they got the job done. I'm excited to see who they play next time or next week, and kind of dissect what kind of matchup we're looking at.
Yeah, man. The Bills are gonna be tough to beat, dude. Even without or I mean, Josh Allen accounts for that rushing game, right? Because he can run the football. So,
Yep.
they're not like a traditional running team in a sense, I guess. Kind of like the Ravens with Lamar Jackson. That's just like I would compare that to like Khabib in MMA. Like, the dude's gonna wrestle because he's an elite wrestler. But at the same time, when he stands up with people, people are kind of shocked. Like, oh, I didn't know he could actually throw some hands too. I think the Bills are kind of like that. Diggs. I mean, it's just impressive. I think all around the board and what they're able to do. So, I'm
I'm
also really
curious
shocked
because
that
I think.
Buffalo is like not covered in snow right now, and that game looked like
Oh, dude, no. Yeah, when I left, it wasn't even bad. It was 40 degrees and everything was melting away. So, um,
this late in the year with playoffs, dude. Shit.
oh yeah.
Um,
Well, I'm really curious to see too, because they haven't even incorporated Kenny Stills yet, man. And with Cole Beasley kind of looking like he was struggling a little bit with the injury he had,
how long has he been there though? They
um,
just signed him, didn't they?
they just signed him. So I'm thinking he might play this
Yeah,
upcoming
I
week.
didn't think I didn't know he was going to play at all. Honestly, I'd be impressed. That's impressive. I mean,
Yeah, oh yeah.
he.
So it would be.
I don't know. Yeah, I can't imagine that. I want to see. I'd like to see that next game.
So yeah, man. I think.
Did you see?
Well, I mean,
Well,
we
first of
got to
all,
see how they come out from a health wise. I'd be curious to see the injury report after this game for sure.
Nick Wright is going to have to supposedly get the Buffalo mustard ketchup, thing going on with his bet with Cowherd.
If they win, they have to win again.
Because he said they wouldn't win a
So,
game at all.
well, he said they wouldn't win a game at all, but the bet was that they would, if they won one game, nobody had to do anything. If they won two games, Nick Wright would have to get ketchup and mustard dousing.
Oh, okay. I know he gave
But if they,
Cowherd an out before yesterday's game, so he wasn't going to have to do it. Because he says he's not gimmicky, but that guy irritates me sometimes.
well, Coward should have just been like, nah, bro, I'm gonna stick with my bet, man.
I know. It's crazy. But
I would have stuck with it.
He was shitting on Baker again for, he's like, well, it's just bad playoff vibes. You're wearing your hat backwards. And then everybody like in the comment section is like posting pictures of like Brady, Roethlisberger, literally like 10 quarterbacks with their hats backwards. And it's like,
This is the dumbest shtick ever, bro. Like, why? That doesn't make any sense to me.
all right.
I wear my hat backwards all the time. It doesn't affect any sort of karma that I have.
Dude, he just hates
or
Baker
like
Mayfield, bro.
perception of like professionalism. Come on.
The last 2 years, his whole the Browns or Baker Mayfield has been like his show. It's like they go into the production meeting every day and they're like, all right, what shit are we gonna talk about the Browns this week or today?
Honestly, bro, let him talk shit because I feel super uncomfortable when he jumps on a bandwagon. Like,
Oh, like he did with the Bills.
he went from, yeah, dude, that terrifies me. Did we talk about this yesterday? Where I was like, I know the Bills are absolutely fucked, like as in the grand scheme of things, because Charles Barkley on his NBA show said that the Bills were going to win the Super Bowl.
Oh god.
And it wasn't like they were talking about Baker Mayfield and like the Pittsburgh Steelers and like, who do you got in this Pittsburgh Cleveland game? And he goes, first of all, the Buffalo Bills will win the Super Bowl. And I'm like, fuck, dude. Charles Barkley thinks this now? Come on. Like, that's just that spells doom for the Bills. But he actually took the Steelers, unfortunately, there. So, but Coward's just he hops on the bandwagon. A lot of people, it was funny, a lot of people pull out the receipts because he was talking about when they did the top 100 players and Allen made the top 100, that, they were talking about, I don't even think he said, I don't even think he's a top 200 player in the NFL. And now he's like all up on it. And it's just funny to me, dude. The national media cracks me up all the time.
Dude, you're starting to see a shift though. People with podcasts, and then you see like Pat McAfee's killing it right now, and I think it's because he owns all his own shit. He's entertaining as hell. You can
Yeah, he's
streams
super entertaining.
they stream to YouTube every day. He can cuss on there. Whereas these media guys were like Stephen A. Smith and Skip and Cowherd, like they have to like say something stupid because they need the views. Because if they don't have the views, they don't get the TV show, get all the money and stuff. So
Correct.
oh my god, I thought that was going to be. I'm behind. You probably already saw that play.
But, yeah, I saw it, and then they called a penalty on it, which is some crap. But
yeah.
In all fairness,
so
the Saints are due. The Saints are due to have the referees kind of help them out a little bit, anyway.
Yeah.
Especially after the last couple of years with bullshit. But
yeah, that's true. What was it saying? What were we talking about?
Coward in the national.
Oh
media.
yeah. Like they have to like keep the ratings up. So I think you're going to see a huge shift here. Like that. What's his name? Lebitard. Is that how you say his name?
Yeah, they started a new sports content.
Well, he's like basically
so.
because he didn't re-up with ESPN, so it sounds like he kind of has taken notice of everything and like just going to do everything his own and own his own show and everything.
That's awesome.
He already has the following, so I hate saying his name sounds like retard to me. So like that's why I had the question.
Oh, Dan Lebitard.
Yeah. So
Gotcha.
but yeah, that's kind of like where it's going. But McAfee's kind of the first, like changing the game there a little bit. So I guess it'd be a good time. We kind of touched on the Ravens a little bit. That game was a good game. Both of us seemed to. Well, you watched yesterday's games. I tell you what. I think I already said this earlier, but Washington, watching them play, has given me a little bit of hope. And I guess you could say because everyone thought the Ravens were just going to beat the brakes off of the Titans, so I have a little bit more hope than I had going into this game tonight. Still don't expect the Browns to win. I think it's strange though too that Vegas has it dropped. So I think the Steelers are favored 5.5 from six or
Okay.
6.5. I think that score, just based on everything that's gone on with the Browns this past week, I thought it would be higher. I thought it'd be at least like 10. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Does Vegas know something we don't? Who fucking knows? I think it's strange too, and I saw this. Let me know what your thoughts on it, because I think I.
Honestly, man,
Well, I was gonna. There's something
to
specifically I was gonna ask, but
oh, I got you going. Yeah.
uh, like, I mean, we know the NFL has been very consistent with the COVID stuff this year. However, do you think that because we've seen some of these media guys that are calling games, I don't know if you've seen it, but like there's been setups from their own house and they've been able to call the game from their house. I think Herb Street did it with one of the college games. Have you seen that? Where they're not actually at
Yeah,
the
I've seen
stadium
it.
in
Yep.
the. Oh yeah. So if like give the situation with Cleveland, it's like Stefanski isn't allowed to have any contact at all with the team just because he tested positive for COVID. Like you're telling me they can't set no shit. They couldn't have him like drive himself down like other coaches did to the stadium and have him be in like, I don't know, somewhere by himself, isolated, and still fucking call the game and still, you know what I mean? Like you have the tech to do it. So like why can't he have
You would
any
you
contact
would
at
have
all?
to well, so you would have to put him in a situation where he would have access to additional information that he would normally have access to on the sideline. Like it would
I
have
mean
to
that's
be
true.
NFL, you know what I mean? Like it would have to be NFL mandate or like regulated. Like, hey, here's where you can go to do this because you're not going to have access to video evidence of things or you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there's a reason why teams have guys up in the booth calling stuff, for hey, challenge this. Like they have access to replay where a coach doesn't. You put Stefanski in a room, or you put him in a situation where he has access to that stuff now, and it doesn't take the additional time to review it or whatever because he has that capability to have that. From a competitive advantage standpoint, there are some things you can have in place that would give you an advantage in that situation if you were to allow him to communicate. But it would
What
have to be mandated, or regulated, I should say, by the
what about
NFL.
just like forget about the game. Like what about just throughout the week and being able to talk to your players and shit? Like even from that
Well, he was
perspective, that
able
makes.
to.
Oh, I thought he wasn't. I was
He
under the
was able
impression that he
to.
wasn't.
No. He was able to do. So he was in Zoom meetings and things this week
Oh, okay.
with his players. But as soon as the game starts, he can't have any contact with them because there's no regulated method of outside contact into a stadium during the game. And I think it is. They'll cite competitive advantage and competitive reasons. And honestly, like a lot of people say, okay, well, how's he going to have an advantage? But there's some things that you would have access to that you would normally not have access to on the sideline without having communication with certain people. In the game situation. If the NFL regulated stuff like that, like, hey, you know what, you're not going to be able to attend the game because you have COVID. You can transport to this facility, or hey, here's we have somebody from the NFL that's actually monitoring you, but the NFL I don't think wants to go through all the steps to have that happen, and then there's a lot of like shades of gray with it. You know what I mean? So I think the NFL just does it more for uh, uh, like optics, really.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we're never going to be accused of having anybody cheat or anything like that, or have that come up because he wasn't present and we don't know what he had access to versus everybody else that was in the stadium. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that I think that's more optics than anything because the NFL can absolutely do it if they regulated it, but that's just not how it is this year.
Yeah. It's crazy. I mean, the whole year's been fucking nuts. But despite what the Browns have going on right now, I mean, at least the guy that's calling plays has called plays before. That coaching staff
Van Pelt, baby.
was built with a lot of ex OCs and stuff, so they got some coaching experience on there, which is kind of nice. However, the one thing that'll be a challenge is getting the play in, getting it. You know what I mean? So like, I'm interested to see like what they
Just a
do.
normal flow of stuff, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I imagine that they'll run the ball a lot, which they should. And I think I brought this up on our last episode where I think Stefanski had a plan last week. I think he was conscious of potentially winning that game and going to the playoffs. You didn't really necessarily see a heavy dose of Chubb, and I think he was resting him in case we had this game.
Okay.
I think they did the same thing with Garrett. Garrett said he kind of didn't really get his wind fully back from COVID. I know he banged his elbow up the week before, I believe. So I felt like he was off the field a lot. And I think that was kind of like strategy. And I also think the game plan for last week might have also been because they threw the ball a lot, almost 30 times, I think. And I think that was kind of, I think the game plan that he was going to put together for this week's game was going to be significantly different, especially now that, Stefanski can't coach. But I'm sure that they're still going to use, or they probably talked about, what scheme they're going to, and plays they're going to kind of try and script out, at least for the first half or whatnot. And I think we're going to actually, be feeding Hunt and Chubb a lot. So hopefully it's going to be tough without Batonio because, he's the oldest tenured Brown on the team. It kind of sucks. I feel bad for him because this, he was there for the 0-16 years, kind of learned under Joe Thomas there, and now they're finally good. He gets his first playoff game and he can't play. It fucking sucks.
Yeah.
So
That's super unfortunate.
I don't even know if
especially for him.
I don't even know if I'll have to look. I don't even know if Wyatt Teller is back or not. I hope so, and thank God you guys let him go because he's been fucking good for us.
Yeah, well, he was part of the trade that helped us get Diggs, so that was one of the picks that was included.
I guess it worked out.
For Diggs. Yeah, so it ended up working out great. I'd rather have Diggs than Wyatt Teller, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, just because the teams are so different, like obviously I want Wyatt because it fits in our scheme and what we do.
What you guys do, right?
You know what
right.
I mean? So it works out for both of us. So hopefully he's back. And I heard Conklin, he made the drive because his test came back after like a couple players tested positive. Their test came back negative, so I think he actually might play tonight, which is huge.
Okay.
So they might only be down
Batonio,
it sounds like, and they've elevated somebody from the practice squad that's a lineman as well. They activated 3 players, I believe, from the practice squad. One was a receiver who I think Ratley maybe, who's played a little bit. Donovan Peoples-Jones is back. He was out with a concussion. They do get some players back. The linebackers, Goodson's back, which is huge. He's been playing really well. I actually think he's been starting over Mac Wilson. They got Malcolm Smith back. So linebacker depth's there. Ward is a big loss. Unfortunately, he's not going to be playing, which sucks.
Yeah, it sucks.
And then, so I think he's the only corner they're missing. Harrison came back off the COVID list. I'm assuming Sendejo's back after getting fucking rocked the 1 week. And he had a COVID issue, but I think he's done too. So they're getting some bodies back, which is nice. Defensively, I think our secondary has been kind of weak the whole year just because we haven't had our whole secondary play at all. I mean, Ward's been in and out. Greedy hasn't played all year. Harrison's been kind of hurt. I mean, we got him in the trade, and ever since that pickup, he's been pretty fucking good. But Delpit was out the whole year. So next year's defense, just if we didn't do anything to it in the offseason, is going to look way better, I would imagine. They just need a couple pieces in the offseason, I think, defensively to really have that defense take the next steps. But for this game, I don't know. It's going to be tough. I know for the Steelers, they have, obviously TJ Watt will be playing and Hayward will be playing. So up front, they're going to be tough. Baker's going to have to definitely be careful, keep an eye out for those guys. And then I think Joe Hayden isn't playing. I think he got COVID as well. So he's out. I don't really know what to expect. I think we could sit here and assume that because, we keep hearing it. The Browns beat the second string last week, and it's like, besides TJ Watt and Hayward on defense, offensively, all the starting receivers played. It's not like Rudolph played a bad game. He played pretty fucking well, actually. So how much better is Big Ben going to play? I don't know. He might not play. He might be the same. He might be better, but we don't know that.
Right. Well, I think defensively is where you're going to see the big difference, right? Like TJ Watt is just there in and of itself is a huge difference.
Yeah.
Especially what he brings just the run defense and what he brings as far as just what the defensive line and their front seven is with him in the lineup. It's a dominant unit.
Yeah.
Your play action game is going to be relied on heavily, I think, this week.
Yeah, for sure.
And you need to have successful early down runs so that way your play action game is just that much more effective.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping for a big game from Baker. The last time that he played them, the first game, what was that, week 5? He struggled big time against that front seven. Kind of looked like he didn't know what he was doing, but I think the team in general has improved a lot since then. So I don't know. I don't know what to expect, man.
Well,
Worst case scenario, I
I
hope
wonder.
it's close at least. I just know the
Do you
Browns are in
think
a
they
position.
do you think they were a little bit more vanilla on defense as far as like what Pittsburgh likes to do in the game, the season finale with the Browns,
Um,
especially knowing that they were sitting starters and stuff? Do you think they just kind of
yeah,
played
I
like
mean,
a
they're
a
definitely.
vanilla scheme defensively?
I don't know. I don't know about vanilla, but I definitely think they're going to come after Baker tonight for sure.
Because they like to disguise coverages and stuff. They they
Yeah.
they do a lot of Minka Fitzpatrick is kind of their ace in the hole with that, right?
Hmm.
He has a lot of flexibility to slice crossing routes, and that's where play action, a lot of play action is crossers,
Yeah.
especially boots, and that's what Stefanski likes to do. He's got play action boot game with some crossers, and I think Minka Fitzpatrick could play a huge role in this game too. And they might not have necessarily. I didn't really notice it on some of the playbacks I saw of some of the film breakdowns, but yeah, they very well could have something up their sleeve from a scheme standpoint because they do like to try to confuse quarterbacks in that regard.
Yeah.
So
Dude, I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, too, if they just try to pull out all the strings. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if at some point during this game they let Baker go shotgun and let him do his Oklahoma thing. He's done it a little bit this year, and like you can tell, like when he's in that, he's very comfortable, and he like knows where to go with the football.
listen, man,
So
when he starts getting comfortable, like he starts dealing,
yeah,
and when it makes the Browns offense dangerous. Like when he starts dealing, it really makes the Browns an effective team because now you're having to play personnel against the pass, and they're able to run the ball effectively. And that's where the 1-2 punch comes in. But it does depend. I'm curious to see too Baker's first playoff game.
yeah, no
What are we
crowd
getting?
though, no crowd. It's
What are we getting?
yeah, yeah. The only thing we all know the Steelers running game is pretty weak, so I don't know what's going to happen there. If they can get some stops, if they can slow down the passing game a little bit, I think they'll be able to hang around for sure. I'm just not getting my hopes up, man. I'm glad they're there. You know, first time in 18 years. If they lose, it's fine for me. Definitely exceeded. I mean, I think I'd have to go back and see I can't remember what I said, but like playoffs or bust for me is what the expectation was for the season. They made it, never really expected them to get here and actually win a playoff game yet. Now next year, that will be my expectation. Like I said, I think defensively they can beef up next year. Kamara is such a fucking monster. Um,
Bro, I've noticed, I was going to bring this up too. After every play, Chicago looks back and just was like, there was holding on that play, and it's hilarious to me. Like a defensive lineman just turns around and goes, "Where's the call?" And like they've been holding calls this year in general have been down like a ton.
oh, I just
So it's
saw
just
it.
hilarious
It
to me.
was yeah,
It's
yeah.
just like hilarious to me. He looks back like,
It
"Where's
grabbed
the
his
holding
arm.
call?" Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's like after every play I've
Mingo, that's
noticed it.
big.
It just cracks me
I
up.
didn't even know Mingo's still in the league. He used to play for the Browns. I used to
Yeah, he's trying
pronounce
to
his
get
first
holding
name.
calls, bro. Arkevius.
He was supposed to be coming out of LSU. He was supposed to be like the guy, and then like as at that DN position, he kind of got tossed around.
Yep.
His speed
Yep.
didn't really translate. But yeah, man, I'm pumped for the game. I'm kind
What
of
time? What time do they
glad.
play? Is it 8:20
Yeah, something like
or
that. So we got
8:05?
we got about an hour, probably a little less than an hour. I don't know. Let me look here. Let me look.
I don't think it
But
was
you
like
know how
normal
it is
Sunday
though.
night
Like, they'll
time.
be like, "Oh, it starts at fucking 8:05," but really kickoff doesn't go on until like 8. Well, for you 8:20.
Right.
It says
Yeah,
6:50.
you're in
Well,
Arizona, so
6:15 my time, so 8:15 your time.
all right. So 8:15. Okay,
So we're
45 minutes of game time, baby.
coming down. This game is pretty much over. The Bears suck
Yeah,
as usual. I'm gonna have to tell Tommy that.
just nothing
'Cause
on offense, man.
I mean, that's how it's been the whole year for the most
Mitch
part.
Trubisky, is he the answer? There's going to be a
No,
lot of offseason questions this year.
definitely not. I got to cut that clip up of me talking about Deshaun Watson, by the way, and I got to post it because I just think it was funny. All that shit came out after I was talking about him in our Thursday's podcast.
Yep.
That'll be a good clip, I think, to share.
Did you see the rumor mill on him today,
Something about
where he wants to
Miami.
be traded?
Yeah, but then
I swear to God.
it was like oh, doing a trade with Miami where they send Tua to Houston or something, or where he can like leverage. I don't know how or like what, like how he would do that. You know, I mean he's
Well, he's got a no trade clause, so he could say, "I'm sitting out. So unless you want to pay me, trade me. And if you
uh,
try to trade me to somewhere that I don't want to go, well, fuck you. I'm not going."
that's you were gonna say you'd be pissed if he went to Miami, didn't you?
Oh yeah, dude, absolutely. I don't want to have to face Deshaun Watson and then whoever the Jets bring in, if they're bringing in somebody other than Darnold, like it'll be. I mean, Deshaun Watson immediately upgrades that team.
I mean,
I still don't know what to think. I don't know what to think about Tua. I don't know what they got into
not just
in
that team,
Miami,
but he could
but
immediately like we said last time, like Miami. Um, it could be the Colts. It could be Washington. It could be there's a handful of teams where he would instantly like make that team San Francisco.
there, whoever does it is going to have to give up a ransom though, because the franchise quarterbacks don't just grow on trees.
That's
You know what
true.
I mean?
That's true. But like one of those teams though, it's like, hey, like if they have those pieces already in play, then it's like, fuck it. I think
Well,
I 49ers in my head. I don't know what they got, but that would be pretty nice for them. But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of Cardinals fans have already kind of like that I've talked to. I mean, I say a lot, really just a few people in the same day were like, I'd take Watson
done with Kyler.
over Murray, yeah, over Murray, just because he's gotten hurt the last 2 years at the end of the season. And it's a little
Well,
it's a little different
here's
than Lamar because his style's a little different. But
well
yeah,
here's
I don't
here's
know.
the deal, man. You know what you got out of Watson. You do.
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
what he can be.
Even on a shit team, he's good.
Yeah, you're right. Like look at what he did stat wise this year
Five
on a
thousand yards.
crappy team without. Yeah, I mean the guy was a baller this year.
Was it?
So
It was
you
over
put him
five, wasn't
around.
it? Wasn't it like 53 or something like that
Well,
yards?
he had like 40. What was it? 47 or
It was
48
something like
passing.
that.
I
Yeah,
think.
yeah,
Like he had a ridiculous season this year.
yeah. And that was
Great
with
QBR. Like
no Hopkins, no real run game, no. I mean, did they was Stills on that? Was Stills?
defensively, they were for a minute they cut him.
Yeah, yeah. And then the other receiver decided to get busted for PEDs, which I still think's horseshit. But
Oh, yeah, Will Fuller. Yep.
there's that
And he
camera
still
angle.
had a great year to the end of the year.
Oh yeah, yeah. They were competitive. But yeah, dude, it's crazy. I'm gonna that's gonna be definitely a talking point all off season. If that following that and seeing if
Well,
something happens with
by
it.
by all accounts, there's definitely traction with it. So
I gotta ball, pivot here. I just saw this. We gotta talk about this. So with the Saints winning, it's them versus the Bucks next week.
I think so. Yeah,
Dude,
that's
how
what.
crazy! So the first year that Brady loses to a divisional opponent back to 2 times in a season, how crazy would it be if they get their revenge in a playoff game? Oh my God,
Bro,
that would be
that'd be some
huge.
craziness.
That would be pretty wild. And the Saints beat the fuck out of them last time, right?
Well, it's the only team that's ever swept him, right, in a
Yeah,
division.
yeah. That's what I said. Yeah, yeah. Ever,
Yeah. So
which is crazy.
does he let it happen 3 times?
It's hard to beat a team 3 times in a season. The same team, dude. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy. Where are they playing? I wonder where they're playing that game. It would be the Saints. It would be New Orleans.
Higher seed. So it'd be New Orleans.
Fuck, dude. That's interesting. That's gonna be a big one.
And with the way the Tampa Bay Buccaneers looked against Washington, that is going to be an interesting game.
Well, I mean, obviously the Saints are about to punch it in here again and just totally fucking rape these fools.
And
But
the Saints defense is no joke, bro.
yeah, no, I mean they started slow. That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, there's a point in time where this game should have been 10-7 Bears, at the beginning. But after that drop touchdown pass, and then they just pulled away now finally. So yeah, I don't know, man. That'll be a good game against the Bucks next week. I don't think they blow them out like they did in the regular season. I think it'll be a lot closer game. Obviously, there's more at risk than reward in this game. But I'm all for it. I love that shit.
Oh yeah, dude.
Back to the Browns. I don't know, man.
Thank you,
Uh,
Browns.
I kind of hope Juju gets, decleated at least once. That'd be nice.
Dude, that's going to be a bulletin board material type thing all week this week. Like when he's talking about nameless gray faces,
Well,
like,
I like that
oh,
line right
they're going to
there.
come out
Like
fired
I'm
up.
I'm sure every coach says some shit like that. You know what I mean? It's the same old Browns comment. I think that will be bulletin board material. Um, and like they got a couple good players, but they're the same old Browns. I think that will be the what they do. And then who knows? Maybe he come. I mean, they're playing in Pittsburgh, so he'll probably be dancing or some shit. But like, I mean, when they played Cincinnati, that dude
I didn't.
almost ended his life.
I
So I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't check. I don't know if there was a prop bet out there if Juju gets his head smashed in with a helmet today, and who does it. I don't know if there's a prop bet for that or not, but there should be
I
if there
mean,
isn't.
they're
Especially with the shit he was talking, bro. Like
yeah,
that. Come on. He
yeah,
couldn't dance on the logo, so he had to stir up shit some other way.
yeah. But here's the thing: if he backs it up, fine, whatever. But make sure you
Yeah,
back it up. You know what I mean?
back
So
it up, Terry.
I feel like if I had to call it now, I mean, he would have to go across the middle, but it's Mac Wilson. I think he's going to have to worry about linebacker for the Browns because he likes to lay the wood and yeah. So this could be a game where Juju gets concussed on one of these plays, but. One thing you could probably guarantee on the Steelers end, Claypool's probably going to have a monster game because they just seem to find these freak receivers and always fucking
Yep.
I don't know what it is. I mean, Juju is great when we're kind of starting to see it. I don't know. Tell me what you think, but Antonio Brown kind of at this point makes it seem like the reason why Smith-Schuster was putting up numbers was because AB was on the field with them because now it's looking like he's not a number one guy. And then you got Claypool out there kind of becoming that guy. So I don't know. What do you think? Do you think
Well, Deontay
he's
Johnson's not bad either.
yeah, true. Yeah. No. Yeah,
Like
he's
that's a
good.
guy. That's a guy to watch out for. I've always been impressed with his game.
Yeah.
Because he's one of those guys that can just like take the ball and house it because of how athletic he is. He's fast. Drops are a concern. Drops are kind of a concern for the entire Pittsburgh team, to be honest with you. But
That's true.
he's just one of those guys I think is a difference maker. So,
Yeah.
but man, it, I don't know. With Juju, yes, I understand with Juju. I don't think that was a touchdown, by the way, but not to get sidetracked here.
I mean, it's fourth
But
and goal for me,
yeah,
so
I don't think
I'm
I
about
don't
to see
think
it now.
I don't think Drew Brees got in at all. But yeah,
They
so Juju, I think Juju definitely suffered from AB leaving, and I don't necessarily. He's great too. I don't know that he's a solid one. They could definitely bring in like additional talent there. They need an elite guy. And if they bring in an elite guy, I think that helps Juju's stock. That definitely helps Deontay Johnson's stock. Um, but they're always just solid. There's just a solid group always. Um,
I don't think that was a touchdown, by the
yeah, tell
way.
me what you think. You don't think so either? I do. I don't think he crossed the goal
No,
line at all.
no. And why the fuck? Oh, hey, Drew Brees. Let's. I know you got 9 broken ribs, but hey, go ahead and stretch out for this fucking touchdown. That's you're gonna win
Right,
the game anyway.
you're 5'2". You're 5'2", and we're gonna have you jump over the pile.
Maybe from
Like,
that
what are you
angle.
doing? I still don't think so,
I don't
man.
think so. That other angle, it looked like it wasn't for sure. But yeah, that
Like you can't overturn it.
you got to think in his head. He's like, "Ah, don't fucking break my ribs. Don't fuck my ribs up.
Oh,
Jesus
but he
Christ.
got he got smacked though too.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, he was really quick to bring that fucking ball back in, though. You know what I mean? To
Yeah, I
protect
don't think he
himself.
scored, dude.
No, I don't think so
That's
either.
short,
And that was fourth down, wasn't it?
but yep,
Oh yeah, he pulled it down with
I think
just a
so.
fucking '70s cunt hair too early, dude.
Yep,
Yeah.
just a bit outside. But
My
yeah, dude,
buddy.
I'm excited for this game too, man.
Yeah, dude. I mean, this whole weekend's been pretty good. They've all been fairly well, besides this one. This one's an
Rich Eisen said it.
ass raping, but
Rich Eisen said it best, man. He's like, why would we ever be opposed to two triple headers on back-to-back days? Like, that's just that's a good thing.
did someone
Gotta
say
love it.
that? Was that a thing?
No, I mean, he's like, if anybody ever had the thought of like, hey, should we allow an extra team in for the playoffs? He goes,
Oh,
double, 2 days of triple headers. Like that's a good thing. We
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
That just gives us more time to watch some games.
Dude, you see, they have like a Nickelodeon version of these
Oh, with the
games.
slime cams and
I'm
stuff.
I'm like, what? I mean, I guess I get it for kids. I saw some clips on Twitter. I mean, I don't know. I mean, what's wrong with watching the real thing,
The
even if
best,
you're a kid?
the best is the first time I think they got to use it. It was on a touchdown that didn't even count, so
Oh,
they had
really?
to they had to call it back. Yeah, so like it was premature sliming,
That's hilarious.
which a lot of people on Twitter were like, "Yeah, I've been there before with the
Premature
premature
sliming.
sliming."
That's
So
like the PG term for. Never mind.
that's
You
why
know where I was
it's
going with
so
that.
good. You got the premature sliming, bro.
Premature sliming.
Uh,
Uh, there's still review. What's the review? This ain't over yet. It's over on your end, right?
Listen, NFL officiating had a week this week,
Yeah.
bro.
What? Talk about that. Like, there were some other games that sounded like they were really shitty in. What all happened there?
Well,
And the other game, not the Buffalo
I
game, but the other games.
think I know with Washington, like there was a couple fumble calls that were questionable.
The
They
oh
overturned it. The one time I think they actually got this one right. I think they got that right.
wait, what?
There
Wait, was it the
were.
Washington game? There was a one that was fucking a fumble, and they said it wasn't. Like, it was clear. Maybe there was a touchdown on
I'm
that play.
pretty sure it was against Washington. I think Heineke fumbled the ball and they rolled him down when it wasn't. He wasn't down at
Oh,
all. So there were a couple other ones that I think I missed in the Rams game, that were kind of questionable too. So like the officials had a week this week, man.
yeah,
It was um, unfortunate for them, but
dude.
I was pissed.
We forgot to talk about this game, so we're kind of bouncing around here. But fuck it, we're not really used to doing live
Yeah.
shit. But we're kind of playing with it. But dude, I think the Seahawks game was kind of crazy because I think majority of people probably picked the Seahawks to win because they're at home and they do well at home, and you didn't know what quarterback was going to play. Here, I forget his name. Dude goes down,
Wolford.
so Goff has to play anyway with a broken thumb, or not even broken. Like, he just had surgery on it.
Yep.
So the fact they were able to win that game, it's funny, dude. Somebody was, because like him and who was he with, Sierra? You know how they always do like weird shit. You ever seen like their weird videos?
Celebrities doing weird shit. God, I don't believe it.
Yeah, yeah. So they did like a reenactment of it was like Janet Jackson video, and someone retweeted it and was like, he's like, this is why their asses lost. This is why he lost the fucking playoff game at home, doing this dumb shit.
No, there you go.
That was just kind of funny, but yeah, I didn't expect that. I don't know.
Dude, we've been saying it all year. The Rams defense is legit. Like they
Yeah,
have a legit defense.
yeah, they do.
And they're going to be a tough out because of it. But, um, the Jared Goff injury is definitely a factor. That's why I picked Seattle in that game because I didn't know that the defense could bail out the Rams enough. Because I didn't think the Rams would be able to do anything offensively. But you scored anytime you score a defensive touchdown, you put yourself in a good position,
Yeah,
and they were able to do that. Uh, but their offense scares me a little bit. I don't know that their defense can bail them out all the time.
yeah. Who they got? Who they gonna be playing? Do we know? They're gonna be playing
Well, the Rams would play
Green
Green Bay,
Bay.
right?
Green Bay. Shit. Good luck. I don't know. I
So
mean, Green
your
Bay.
defense is definitely going to have to bail you out there because Aaron Rodgers is on fire right now.
Yeah, they don't play well. Green Bay doesn't play well from behind either. So like they'd have to get kind of similar to the Ravens. Like
Yeah.
you'd have to get a lead on them and then go from there. But
But Sean McVay could be the equalizer on offense, as far as a play calling, a schemer goes. So,
right.
or
I
a game
mean,
plan designer. So,
I'm excited for it. Yeah, man. I don't know. What's your prediction for tonight's game? You got a score prediction?
I'm going to go 27-21 Pittsburgh.
Okay. I was in that range. 27-21 Pittsburgh. Oh, for the record, the
I have
only
to shotgun, I know.
We'll do that. On Thursday's
And
episode.
effort on Thursday, yeah,
Yeah,
or Wednesday, whenever we're
yeah.
recording. But yeah, I got a shotgun. I know.
I tell you what, in my work leagues though, I fucked up. Like it looks like these points are going to be low as shit, and I've lost one game, so uh, I'm assuming that we were all kind of assuming that someone probably had to get them all right. If not, then it comes down to points. I think I did 145. I'll add them up here. Um, my prediction for this game, I'm thinking. What am I thinking? I think we're gonna. I'm obviously picking the Steelers to win this game by a field goal, and I'm gonna go. What was yours again? 27-21?
Yep.
You're 27-21. I'm gonna go 21-24 Steelers.
Okay.
I know that makes me
I
look
just
bad
don't.
as
We
a
haven't
Browns
really seen
fan,
a
but
ton of high scoring games.
we have not. No, that's what's crazy. Like we
I
were
mean,
in the.
Tampa Bay was the highest scoring game, right? It was
I think
thirty-one
so.
twenty-three
And
in
I,
that game, and
you
then
know,
the Bills was the second highest with
and
27
yeah,
20.
and the tiebreaker for
Four. Yeah.
all the games, or for these pick'ems we did was total points for all three games today. So like, I think you had 140, which is 146. I was like 145 or something like that. And
Yeah.
even same thing in my
Yeah.
work leagues. And I did two sheets, and the one I did 150. I went a little higher, but I don't even think it's not even going to be close unless
No, it's not even close.
this next game's
I mean,
like
what are
a
we?
shootout.
33,
Yeah.
54, 57 right now. Total points in two
Shit,
games.
that's crazy.
So
Yeah,
unless this next game is like 50-49, like we're pretty screwed
yeah,
as far
yeah.
as point totals go.
Yeah. So, well, there's those predictions. Unfortunately, I just think the Browns were just dealt a bad hand leading up to this, and I don't know if they can dig themselves out of it. I hope I'm wrong. Really do. But
It'll be a good
this
story if they can
yeah.
overcome the
Oh,
adversity
it'll
that
be a
they
huge
have
story,
going into this
that's
game.
the one thing that's a positive out of all this. I think the Steelers have more pressure to win this game. I mean,
Yeah,
think about if
I
they
was just
lose.
gonna
It's
say
like
that too.
it's like you lost to a team that had no offensive coaches and like you know what I mean. So like
Right,
everybody's expecting the Browns to lose. So like you don't really have anything to
right.
lose.
I think everybody, is counting them out. And
Yeah,
honestly, even it's tough, man. They do have a tough situation, and that's why, like logically to me, with everything they have going on, it's going to be a tough out this week.
yeah,
But that also gives them that extra edge because everybody's counting them out, and they, maybe they show up and say, "Fuck the haters," don't count us
yeah,
out ever,
yep.
regardless of what happens.
Yeah, and I feel like it's a big game for Baker, obviously, and if he can come out here and play well despite winning or losing, like either way, um, he's probably going to get that contract extension. I would imagine, especially after the last half of the season and how he's played. And
Right?
you know, yeah, we'll see. We'll see if he can get it going. I mean,
How would you feel about extending them?
I mean, yeah, fuck. It's the first time we made the playoffs. I mean, like, there's no, earlier in the season, I was kind of on the fence because, like, he wasn't playing very well. And then I think he's just finally learned the system. So, and he's comfortable in it, and it kind of shows, right? So, um, he's been taking care of the football, hasn't turned it over a whole lot this year. I mean, even at worst case scenario, if you want to call him a game manager, right? Like Cowherd does. And, well, they're winning games. They're 11-5 and they're in the playoffs. So it's like, are you going to get anything better? Probably no, not without trading or, giving up a lot of shit. You know what I mean? Like I just said, like I've been preaching that like if they just focus on defense in this offseason, they're going to be fine, right? So I say right now, yeah, extend them. You know?
I'd be curious to see where he comes in from a contract value standpoint.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. I think
Um,
and then you do that. You give him the extension, right? And then you play it out and see over the next couple years, because I don't know how long an
because
extension
what
usually is for. But then you see like what he does in that. Because like, dude, if you could say next year, say they give him an extension, then next year he goes and they go deep into the playoffs and maybe an AFC Championship game, or maybe they make the Super Bowl. I don't know. It just depends.
right?
I think it's gonna depend on another year of play for sure.
Well, here's how I look at it too. I mean, we talked about it a little bit on the yesterday, but the Bills want to try to extend Allen, and you're looking at like a 4 or 5 year contract extension. Um, they extend him, they extend him here, and if they get it in before Baker, where does Baker fall in terms of relative value for in comparison with Allen? You know what I mean? And then that's going to be an interesting storyline to follow. This is kind of the year, especially with those quarterbacks. This is the year that you're going to see, those contract extensions come out. So this is really where, if it's going to happen, I think the Browns make it happen this year.
Yeah, I
But
agree. I think
dude, that was a nasty catch by Jimmy Graham, by the way. But he just caught the ball and just ran up the tunnel like to the locker room because the game was over anyway. He said, "Fuck this, I'm out."
oh, I just now I'm seeing it. He's like, oh, peace.
He
I
just ran right up the
he's like
tunnel. Like he didn't bring the ball back. Like
he's like did
screw
my
kicking the extra point. Like whatever, we're
he's
done.
like did my thing. He's like I'm over this bullshit.
Yep, that was funny.
Shit. That's
But
so weird. That's so weird. One
well,
handed
that's what
too.
the matchup
That's
looks
like
like
that's
now.
like vintage Graham right there. That's what he used to do when he was on the Saints before all those
Dude, he
injuries.
actually had a decent. He had actually had a decent year for Chicago this year.
Yeah,
Surprisingly,
that's crazy.
I played him a couple times in FanDuel, and he did work for me.
God, I miss doing
Cheap plug for
FanDuel,
FanDuel.
FanDuel or DraftKings. I miss that shit. It's the one thing.
I didn't do. I didn't do a DraftKings yet, but
It's the one thing I did all the time before when I moved, and like you can't do it in Arizona because it's illegal, even though because all those casinos that are out here are on Indian reservations. So like you can gamble there, but you can't do DraftKings and
but
shit because
I
it,
got
it,
you.
it, it locks in your IP address. There might be a way around it. Like if I had my mom set up an account and I used a VPN and used her account
Yeah,
and
you'd
had
be able to
money,
get away with it that way.
maybe, but it's a lot of moving parts because you got to prove like a bunch of shit. Like I think you got to take pictures of your ID and shit. So it'd have to be all on my mom, and I would just log in under her. I think or whoever, anybody. Like I could do it with you if I wanted to go. You know what I mean? But it's a lot of moving parts. I thought about doing it. I'm like, I don't know.
Well, then when you got a claim, like you'd have
That part
to.
would suck, like claiming the shit. Yeah, I'd have to
Yeah, you
maybe
you kind
like
of probably have to jump through hoops that way.
transfer it through like PayPal and shit. It'd be fucking crazy. But hopefully one day they freaking just make that shit legal here. It's like,
I
come
think
on.
they're trying to make it legal in New York finally,
I mean,
or it is legal in New York. I can't remember.
you can't do DraftKings there.
You can, but you can't do. There are certain types of sports betting you can't do there, but I
That's
think it is legal
dumb.
now, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, I don't know if it'll.
Ohio's not like that yet.
I don't know if it'll ever pass here, but you can do DraftKings and shit in Ohio. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
understand
which
it.
is
It's
nice.
it's so weird. But are you gonna do one for this game? You should do one for this game, dude.
I might throw one together.
That'd be dope.
I feel like I've
Um,
lost like every one I've filled out for a minute. So like I think I took a break for a reason, but I might throw one in for this one for a single game DraftKings.
yeah. How do you feel about the stream? We're an hour and 18 minutes in, man. Uh, it's different for us because usually we record on Zoom and I chop it up and we post it. I think this live stuff's kind of interesting for sure.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I dig the live stuff. I'd
uh,
have to. I'd probably want to record it on my, or at least do it on my computer instead of my iPad because, like, my iPad's been kind of freezing,
is
and
that is that
there's
what you're
been
using
some
right now?
weird things. Yeah, I'm using my iPad right now.
Yeah. Um,
Just sitting in my room. I had the game going and BSing on the iPad.
yeah. No, it's kind of cool. It's this software. We have 25 minutes left technically of my free trial, and then if I want to, purchase it, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know. If we turn this thing into a live thing, I mean, really, I think you'd want to do that if you had like big following, which we don't have right now because we're kind of starting out. So we'll figure it out. Plus, I like being able to cut
So
clips up.
follow us, damn it,
Yeah, follow us. Twitter, AJXOPod.
XOPod.
And then personally, mine is for pretty much all my social media is Justin 2_Maxim, and then your crazy one.
Bills fan 53 B1 LLS fan 53.
I think we're also on TikTok now, which is really weird. I posted one thing yesterday that is also at AJXOPod. I think next week, uh, for the TikTok fam, if the Bills win, I think you should slam yourself through a table, dude.
Oh God,
You
probably
got
could be arranged.
and have Kristen or somebody to record it.
I'll jump off the deck through one. Not lighting it on fire. I'm gonna be a rookie
That's
when it
fine.
comes to that. So
Or you can. I mean, is there snow outside there? Is there snow?
no, actually,
Oh, never mind. I was gonna say you could just jump in the snow, I guess, but there is none. So, but yeah, I mean,
yeah.
whatever. I guess you don't really have to. But I mean, if you're a true Bills Mafia fan, then I guess you kind of have to put yourself through a table.
I mean, I'm feeling like the pressure's on now to do so.
Shit. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I think it's been fun today.
Oh yeah,
Pretty pumped for this game. It's about to come on here in a little bit, so I think we're gonna sign off, and I'm gonna, try and get excited, and hopefully we can pull this out of our
just get like
asshole.
settled in, ready to go. I'm gonna do the same thing, man.
Yep.
Get settled in. I'm gonna
Yep.
have my my beverage of choice, which is gonna be water today because hashtag recovery.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's why I got
but
this bad
yeah,
boy.
no, we're gonna get settled in and definitely get ready for this game. But
Cool.
we'll be tweeting out. Just I mean, definitely check
Oh
us
yeah.
out here
And
because we're gonna be tweeting out throughout the course of this game. So
yeah. Also tomorrow I'll post a bunch of shit because I'm going to my sister restaurant with some people because we get 50% off. So I want to take advantage of that 50% off entire bill. Um,
okay, I
this,
see you.
so I know we do pick'ems and stuff, but like tomorrow is I might have a couple beers, but after that I'm gonna go dry for a while. Stop the drinking. So I won't be shotgunning anymore
That is a bold strategy.
uh, on our normal Thursday episodes. You can catch the episodes every Thursday. But yeah, so because after yesterday, man, I was feeling shitty, and
So
you
that
know,
was the tipping point. Like I'm done.
dude, about to be 30,
Gotta pull the brakes for a
about to
minute.
be 33 years old. I mean, some of the crazy shit we used to do back in the day. I don't know how we did it. But yeah, I felt that shit yesterday. So yeah, but so tomorrow for the national
Dave,
championship game, hopefully Ohio State can also pull something out of their ass and like they did against Clemson, and because I'm getting the vibe that everybody expects Bama to win as well, and don't even think that it's going to be a game. So I think Ohio State plays well as underdogs. So we'll see. We'll see how this game goes.
yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
But yeah. So
I'm excited for that game, man.
oh yeah, absolutely. So with all that being said, go Browns, go Bucks, and talk with you guys on Thursday.
I'll catch you guys later.